and it all starts with Katrina Merriweather, head coach here at Wright State. Katrina, I know I said to you, you are the undisputed Horizon League champions. And when I found out, when I found out that your team was able to snap the dynasty of the Phoenix of Green Bay for 20 years, I didn't realize that. 20 years they had been consecutive Horizon League regular season champions, going back even, to the MCC days before it became the Horizon League back in the early 2000s. But quite an achievement for your team. And I know, first of all, congratulations, but also I know you're so happy. My first question would be what were you thinking? Once the game was over, you knew that you were the champs. You probably thought about your players and your staff first, did you not?
Well, the first thing I thought was, let's not celebrate too much because we're going to have to play them again on Tuesday. And not just because of that, but Jeff Tungate, the head coach at Oakland, is such a class act. By the time I shook his hand, he had already gotten the ball and handed it to me.
Oh, that's
so
great,
that we can have the ball for that game. And I mean, he's just so awesome. And just out of respect for him and everyone else, that we definitely celebrated, but we kind of hung out a little bit more afterwards than we did so much in the gym. But those seniors, that's who I thought about. And it was a very, very emotional day because they have all been through so much in the last 4 years, and not because their experience was oh so terrible or anything like that, but they're 18 to 22. They've had college stuff, kids stuff, again, family stuff, academic stuff, just things, injuries,
that goes through your head,
all those things, and all those moments. I try to remind them to give themselves credit because a lot of people quit. There are not a lot of athletes that don't do this for 4 years because it's really, really tough.
You got one here tonight, don't you?
Yeah, we sure do. And
get up there, stand up. Come on, Simone Simmons
she's
is here.
Awesome.
Come on.
Hey, Simone.
Yeah. 1,000 rebounds, 1,000 points. First time ever that's been done at Wright State.
I don't know anyone who's done it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I haven't really looked into it too much, but I'm positive that no one's under 5'10" that has done it. And I think that she has gone through these years so underrated, not underappreciated by me or the staff or, again, our program and administration. But I think when people look at our team, they say, oh, there's Emily. Oh, there's Mac. You even get excited about the newcomers, Imani and Mikhail and Angel, and you don't always hear Simone's name. And she just does the grunt work, the dirty work, the things that, again, no one really chooses to do. She's got this amazing knack for it, and it just takes a lot of character in my mind to be as relentless as she is on those boards. And it was just, she deserved it, and I was really, really proud of her.
And what a great example that is to the rest of the team, especially all the underclassmen, because what you're doing is you're setting the program in the right direction, and that what they leave, those seniors, and how hard they work, you hope that goes down to the other players and student athletes on this team, because that just sets everything else in motion.
Well, it better, or we're not going to win much when they're gone. And we kind of allude to that a little bit. We try to stay in the moment, but we do talk about that, when we say we're going to celebrate this, even though obviously we have the conference tournament coming up yesterday. We're going to celebrate this win and this championship. It is a very, very big deal. And it's really hard in these one-bid leagues because not a lot of attention goes to the regular season championship because it doesn't turn into an NCAA berth. And the emphasis is on these 3 games. But what I keep saying and what we told our kids, we're teaching them to grow and become better people and better students and better athletes. Well, that is a big picture situation. It's not a one-hit 3 games and then get all the glory. We love the thought of over an 18-game period, no matter who was out, who was injured, who we were missing, what we were going through, whose family member passed, all this stuff, we managed as a team to stick together well enough that we perform better than every other team in the league. And that's what makes it such a big deal.
Well, it talks about, we've heard this many, many times, it's all a part of a process, and you just talked about a lot of part of that process. But then again, there's time, for celebration, for that accomplishment. But like you said, one of the thoughts that came through you was, all right, we got to get ready for this tournament because of the reasons you just said a moment ago. How do you and your staff now get them in the proper framework right now in their minds to be able to prepare for this game on Tuesday, because there's not a whole lot of turnaround time?
Yeah, they're there. We don't have to do anything.
All right.
They're right here. They're focused. They're ready. We turned around and we practiced, and they were really good. We practiced again today, and they were really good. I don't really know what you're saving any of your energy for at this point. Like, you're just trying to get it all done and get it all in. And I think that they were really focused. I think they tried hard. They're upbeat. They don't seem tight. They don't seem any of that. I wouldn't. I look at them and we talked as a staff, we wouldn't expect them to be any different than what they are right now, which is just really hungry and really prepared.
All right, let's go back to the start of the season. We remember out here at Fly Boys, first year that we've been here, we sat down for the first show, and I can see, through your eyes, you were like, okay, I have no idea, but I got a lot of hope, in this team. But as the year went on, you went to those tournaments, you talk about togetherness with your team and how important that is. But I'm asking you right now, at that point, do you feel that this team has gone beyond what you thought could happen, or this is what you expected?
Yeah, that's kind of tough. When you look at this team on paper, I think that you can expect to be in the top three. What you had no idea about was how much we needed Imani Partlow, Mikael Miller, Angel Baker, and whether or not all of that was going to mix together. And that was a mystery for everybody. And I think that, it was a little rough in the beginning because we were trying to figure out roles. We were trying to figure out where everybody fit. And that's where the credit goes to this senior class. Because what Mikael Miller did, being a volume shooter, coming in and saying, hey, I know I can score this ball and putting up shots. I'm telling you, it made Max say, well, I can too. And so now you don't just have one person trying to do it, there's her. You got Emily saying, well, we don't have a point guard, so I guess I need to play it. And so now she's in the top 10 in our conference in assist to turnover ratio. And then you've got Simone that said, okay, you don't need me to shoot it as much, that's fine. You shoot it, I'm gonna go rebound it, I'll get my points that way. And everyone at some point just settled in and said, oh, this is what you're good at. So this is what I need to do in order for us to be successful and for us to win, and that is what you see right now in March.
So you hear that term all the time, it's whatever it takes, but they were able to buy into that. So again, that's a credit to the student athletes being able to do that.
100%.
And something really important too is the trust factor that they have within each other.
I think, we talk a lot in this past week, we've talked about a few things. One is composure. Because we have a very highly emotional team. So when you watch us play at home and you watch that bench and they are cheering and yelling, I mean, it is the highest of highs. And they are unbeatable in those moments. Well, sometimes we run into some adversity, especially on the road, whether it's some foul calls we don't think should have been made or whatever the case may be. And so sometimes we can get a little low with the lows too. And so composure is a really, really big thing for this team, and being able to bounce back when things don't happen the way we want. The second one is camaraderie. It looks amazing again at home, but those pieces that we keep talking about, those red shirts, those people who are not playing, like, they're huge for us at home. Well, they don't get to travel with us, and it matters, and it does make a difference. So we have to make a conscious effort to continue to celebrate each other and to cheer, because you don't have what we have at home. Right. And the last one is just having confidence in yourself and each other. We've all had these performances where they've not shot the ball great. We've had 0 for 8s, 1 for 11s, 2 for 13s. Well, you still have to shoot the next shot. And somebody's got to high five you and say, hey, it's okay, that next one's going to go in. Or you got Simone Simmons that says, hey, I got your back, I got the rebound. Or Simone says, hey, Deja, I'm tired. You need to play. And you need to go. And I think that is what's going on with this team. And it is beautiful to see.
Satisfying, especially. I know you
Absolutely.
were very frustrated at the end of the year last year, Motor City Madness, and you got right to work. I've brought that up to you on a few occasions this year. I could see it in your face right there. You got to get right to work right after that loss, and it looks like that work has paid off to this point, because there's still a whole lot more work to go.
Yes.
What about during the season? Is there any turning point that you saw where you saw that this team was headed in this direction?
I think it was the Nashville tournament. Because what you saw was when you play 3 games like that back to back, you saw good performances one day and then someone get a little tired and wore out and someone step up the next day. And I think that's when we really started to form this, let's win the position. That it not be first group, second group, or first 5, second 5, or guards versus posts. Let's just come together and let's just win the spot. And I think winning the spot had a lot to do with how we started to gel together and not look like we were competing anymore against each other for playing time. We were just trying to figure out the best way that we could win and reach our potential. And I think that Nashville tournament gave everybody a lot of confidence.
You know, you and your staff obviously, cross your fingers and you hope that they're able to buy into that. And once the players, buy into that, it makes your job a lot easier.
No, there's no question. You get all these compliments on social media, and someone said, Coach, you did a great job. And I responded, you can only coach players that let you coach them. So it doesn't matter how good of a coach you are. If you don't have really good kids and players that are receptive to what you're trying to do, it doesn't matter how good your plan is. And me and Keith would laugh about that all the time, about X's and O's. I'm like, if your X's and O's aren't any good, that play doesn't work. I don't care how good. And if we want to trade, if you have the Gino Orium in Connecticut trade with Cincinnati Christian and they trade players, that coach at Cincinnati Christian is going to beat Gino Orium because they've got better players. And so it's always about them. It always has been and always will be.
Well, Coach Merriweather, tomorrow you talk about the excitement you get on your bench, and you have these players here who are sitting out and helping you, but you need a lot of help from the fans too. All right, folks, you got a great deal tomorrow. We're going to go to break right now, but for those who aren't aware of it, all right, the quarterfinals are going to be held for men's and women's here at Wright State University's Nutter Center. Motor City Madness, it begins tomorrow. The road begins here at Fairborn and heads up to Detroit later on for the semifinals on Monday and then the finals on Tuesday at Little Caesars Arena. How do you get your tickets for the quarterfinal game if you haven't gotten them already? By all means, call the athletic office. You can also go to WSURaiders.com. I'm going to tell you something now. The doors are going to open at 4:30 for the 5:30 game with the women starting out against Oakland. So 4:30, the doors will open. It's $10 for premium seats. That's the first 12 rows at the Nutter Center. That's a great deal. $5 for all the other seats. Students, your ticket is absolutely free. No excuse. Get out there. Support the Raiders. You get one free ticket. And if you're wondering about parking, too, coming to the game tomorrow night, parks 1 and 2 lots, will be open to all fans, and it'll be available on a first-come, first-served basis. Again, buy your tickets at 775-4934 or go to the Wright State Athletic website at WSURaiders.com for more information. And we'll have more of the Katrina Merriweather Show when we come back to Flyboys in Beaver Creek. This is Wright State University basketball.
The Horizon League's men's and women's basketball championships roll into Little Caesars Arena March 11th and 12th. Don't miss your chance to see the surviving 4 finalists of the Horizon League battle for an automatic berth in the NCAA tournament. $15 general admission and $25 two-day passes are on sale now. Don't miss out on the madness. Visit horizonleague.com or call 313-471-7575.
And welcome back. Good crowd out here at Flyboys for our final coaches show of the year. Again, when we went to break, get your tickets if you haven't got them. You're going to support this team, the undisputed champs in the Horizon League, the Wright State women's basketball team, and quite a season, Coach Merriweather. And let's get to the highlights that we have from Detroit Mercy and also from Oakwood this past weekend from Oakland. So if we can, folks here at Flyboys, look up here at the monitor, and we'll describe it the best we can on the radio.
All right, we got Emily passing over to Mikhail, who's getting to the rim. She always has these fancy finishes. Sometimes I just yell at her just to lay it in regular. She came down, actually hurt her knee there and had to sit out for a little bit.
She's wearing a mask.
Yeah, her cartilage has collapsed over her nostril, for crying out loud. Angel Baker right there with the 3, knocking it down. She's been shooting really well here lately. And there we are in transition, offensive rebound, and put back. Is that Simone? Looks like Simone. My screen's really little.
Simone, yeah.
Yeah.
They can see the bigger screen behind us.
And then passing into Tyler, and she's another one. Just catch it and lay it in, Tyler. We don't want to dribble. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to hold it or shot fake. Just catch it and lay it in. And then we got an offensive rebound by Imani and one over there. I mean, she's just really tough to handle down low.
Sure is a skill to be an offensive rebounder.
It's
not just luck.
No, it is not. Not at all. Angel is, again, really good one-on-one. We just have an ISO plays for her where she's really good at just getting to the basket.
That player's
And
not
then-
bad.
No, she's not bad at all.
She's here tonight.
She is.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Emily.
Yeah, Emily Oglepole is here.
And that's Emily, who again came off a really good game against Youngstown. She's driving it, so she's able to penetrate and kick and get some wide open threes. Jaleese Beck came ready to play at Oakland. One dribble pull up there, and she did it again later on in the game. Anijah getting that three off. Simone with a tremendous rebound finds Emily for another three up top. Got that senior connection there. Angel Baker getting to the rim again. Just really, really tough to guard. Emily making somebody fall there as she lays it in. They just did such a good job of playing inside out, driving in. Mac then gets an open three. So all these things we're doing, attacking and then making the defense collapse, and now we're getting some open shots on the perimeter. Tanisha Dixon coming off the bench. Her family came to the game, and she was just so energized and excited, and it showed right there with that rebound. And there was Angel again making another three. And Emily dishing again. She's doing everything. She's scoring, she's passing, rebounding, getting it to Mac, who knocked down that three over there in the corner. There's Jaleesa's buzzer beater. Didn't touch anything but the bottom of the net.
You guys really spread the
got
floor
Emily.
nice. Yeah.
We did. And Emily, who had struggled a little bit right there, you see her head nod. She got that three to go down. And that's a big shot there, a pull-up mid-range that every time she shoots it, the whole team jumps up. Deja Evans knocking down a three, who had been shooting really well all week in practice. We were really excited to see her be able to have that happen in the game. That was Simone's 1,000th point. Again, an ISO play. We run for her just to go lay it in. Another offensive rebound for Simone and one as she falls on the floor. This is Deja Evans' second three-pointer. Knocking it down in rhythm over there. And then a little celebration there at the end. And I'm not in the picture because I'm on my way to the locker room. Because we got to play the same team again 3 days later.
Like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
You know, I can notice from those highlights, both from Detroit Mercy and also against Oakland, a team that's very confident. I mean, you can tell in the way they shoot, the way they move the basketball, and the decisions they make taking the ball to the basket.
They are. And I tell you, we don't shoot the highest percentage. I jokingly told them today, I've never seen a team win a championship that's 5th through 10th in so many statistical categories. But it's because we rebound, and it is because we get key stops, and because they believe in each other so much that we just keep going and keep going and keep pushing in transition. And just because someone misses, we don't stop going to them. We feed them again. And I think they do a really good job of recognizing, hey, I'm not feeling it right now. Let me find someone else. And I think that's somewhere we've really, really grown throughout the year.
All right, I have a question like this for all coaches. I mean, you headed to the Horizon League tournament. You talk about, one bid league, and everybody knows what the prize is at the end. You hear about momentum. Momentum is really important, how you play at the end of the year, but also you hear that during the season, one game at a time. I mean, what philosophy do you take?
I don't know what happens
Well,
when you're CEO of
we
a
are
company
definitely one game at a
and
time
you take a leave of
in terms
absence. Generally,
of
a leave of absence
focusing on
means,
one game at a time,
he's
but we
gonna-
know what the big picture is at the same time. So even though we're talking about one game at a time, and I'm very careful about talking about more than one game, but I think that they understand that, especially at this point where every game could be your last one. And so there is a little bit of pressure that's put on you, and you got to be able to play with it and be okay. But I don't know. I think it's a combination of both. But I would argue that we talk a lot more about taking one game at a time than we really do the pressure, a big picture of winning the championship, and that it takes 3 games and all that good stuff.
Well, I know you're preparing your teams in the mindset, getting ready for the game tomorrow night against Oakland at 5:30 at Wright State's Nutter Center. But there was a celebration when you got back home. You a little bit surprised by that? It was really nice what was done. Tell everybody about what you experienced when the team got back home from Detroit.
Well, we were optimistically planning on surprising them, which is very, very difficult to do because these seniors are so intelligent / nosy that it is really, really hard to surprise them. So we're sneaking drinks into the pavilion, like we're trying to move around them. And of course, Mac, who not much gets by her at all, notices it. And I'm calling parents, and the parents are trying to hide it from them. And then they find out. Oh, so that part was just so much fun while you're trying to prepare to play, by the way. But really what Abby and Ashley's parents did was really phenomenal. We had a bunch of people show up. We got some food. They decorated the pavilion. We pulled up the ladder. We cut down some nets. And we really thought that that was important, one, because they earned it, but two, when you get that feeling and the momentum that you talk about, climbing that ladder, which is one of our mottos for the year, and them having an opportunity to do that and record. And then they ate and they sang and they danced and the family joined in. And I think that it was just really important that we celebrated that moment instead of probably what's more my style, which is be very cautious. Let's be careful. We don't want to celebrate too much because what if that makes us unfocused? And that my staff is really awesome at forcing me to live in the moment and saying, you better enjoy this. None of us are ever guaranteed to have this feeling again. Now, the underclassmen don't like to hear that, but it's the truth. You know, like we're right here, right now, so let's live in it. And everybody pitched in and did a great job. Administration showed up. Again, family drove hours. We hid it from them, so the people who were in the game in Oakland, the parents were like, hey, see you on Tuesday, when they were really actually driving to the pavilion. So there were a lot of really cool things that happened tonight.
I think you have to, because it's an accomplishment. You know, like we said before, Green Bay had dominated the league in the regular season for 20 years.
Since I was a player.
Yeah.
We played them at Cincinnati. I mean, they were winning the championship.
And that's a long time ago, wasn't it, Coach?
Hey.
I just wonder if you guys listen
Just
to
a
that.
little bit.
Yeah, okay. And I'm glad you said that, because as a player and also, you know, student athlete and a coach, have you ever experienced a season like this with this group?
I think it's always different, maybe when you're the head coach. I don't know. But all I know, because you're so involved in everything that happens along the way. And every team has a bunch of stories, and every team has a bunch of experiences and obstacles and adversity, and we talk about all the time. But you know this group's. You know all of the ups and the downs and the meetings that we have to make sure that we're on the same page about things, the constant reminders of what you bring up, not being distracted, being able to balance school and basketball and your social life and home all at the same time. Those moments where it's very overwhelming and you have to convince them that these couple of hours we have together in practice, nothing else can matter but this right here. And their decision, their maturity to be able to do that, the peer governing that we have, that we say, hey, we'll deal with whatever's going on with you at 4:30, but right now I need you to be right here. And the way they hold each other accountable, I mean, it's just a tremendous group.
And I know you're very hands-on too, and the question now is directed towards, you know, your staff. You know, I know it's hard for you to kind of let go of some things, you know, being a new head coach basically, still early, but you have really got a great group there as a staff.
It's unbelievable. Every time I say it, like if I pat myself on the back for anything, it is just picking them. And not just because they work well with me, they work so well with each other. I've literally have left the office and then had to come back and get something, and I come back and it sounds like a party in there. And they're working, you know, but they get along, so they're laughing and they're joking, and I think that spills into the team. I think that when we huddle and the confidence that we have in each other, where I don't have to oversee anything, I can say this is what I want to get better at. They go back to their office, they put together drills, and then they execute them in practice. It allows the kids not to always hear my voice. To be able to trust them to do that is amazing. I think we have the best staff in the country, and I don't care what level, I don't care what conference. It doesn't matter what you say in terms of the student athlete experience, caring about these kids, making sure that they accomplish their goals, and being so invested. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm blessed, and I'm very, very thankful.
And to this point, the process has the Raiders as the #1 seed in the Horizon League tournament. In that game coming up tomorrow, the quarterfinals at Wright State's Nutter Center. Get your tickets again. The number is 775-4934, or you can go to the athletic website at wsuraiders.com. We'll be back with the final moments of the Katrina Merriweather Show when we continue from Flyboys in Beaver Creek. This is Wright State University basketball.
What does it mean to be a pioneer, reaching your full potential? It means being bold. No, bigger than bold, monumental. Where would we be if we ceased at the first "you can't do that"? How would we advance if we stopped in our tracks every time we heard "hey you, move back"? We develop thick skin when opposition wishes we'd stay soft. Against resistance, our persistence will pay off. At Wright State, our goal remains central. We are the pioneers of potential.
Yes, along with the coach of the undisputed champs of the regular season of the Horizon League, the Wright State Raiders, 16-2. Coach, we got a minute left. We want to thank Steve at Flyboys, first year here. Thanks, Steve, for having us this year. Of course, we got Scott Nagy Show coming up next. Really appreciate it. Great job and a great turnout here tonight. Folks, thank you very much for coming out. And I know you got some final words before you get your team ready, and you got to go out and recruit later on tonight. And I know you're very thankful for what's happened this season.
I get a chance to normally say thank you to everybody and walk around and thank you for coming, but we are going to get in the car and drive to a game that we're going to go recruiting tonight. But thank you so much for having us here, Steve. Thank you so much, everybody who comes out consistently that we see at the games that supports us. It's just a tremendous environment, and I couldn't be more thankful and grateful for all the people who have been here that have supported us through this journey, and we're not done yet. We're going to keep trying to get after it and see what else we can make shake.
You know what's great, too, about the loyalty, because I see a lot of people here who have been here for just about every show.
Absolutely.
You know, and that means a lot to you, your staff,
Yes,
and your
it
student
does.
athletes.
It does, and I think that, again, it doesn't always have to be about numbers. We're always about quality over quantity. We want to have good people that are surrounding our girls. We want our girls to know what it's like to be around good people and loyalty and to be appreciative. And I wouldn't trade any of our fans for more fans. I want the ones that we have because they are polite. They are constantly complimenting our kids and helping us continue to move forward and cheering louder than any other group that I've seen. So it's an amazing feeling.
Well, the process isn't complete, but congratulations on the regular season
Thank you
title,
very
Coach
much.
Merriweather.
Appreciate it.
All right, and best of luck tomorrow night against Oakland, and see you up in Detroit.
Sounds good. Thank
All right,
you.
let's hope so. Fans, thanks a lot. Hey, stick around. Scott Nagy Show, Wright State Men's Basketball Show, coming up next from Flyboys in Beaver Creek. This is Wright State University Basketball.